You know, he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
But it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
I love the intro. Happy, oh, where are we? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Think Tank. So, how are you guys doing? My lovelies. So, you know what? I'm like all tied up here. You know what? There is so much to this case. It's unreal. I'm still like 3 pages off from finishing up with probable cause. I've got notes taken on the computer, and I'm doing everybody individually because there is so much. You know, you don't want anybody to be kind of missing out of, you don't want any information missing out of any of these cases. I'm concerned about the baby, the toddler. That concerns me. And what did they call him? Like the Oriental man? Is that what they said? There's a man in there as well, regardless of, but yeah. How did he end up there? And is there more than one dump spot? I'm thinking so. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there a dump spot? Where were you girls looking yesterday? I have not gone through yet. I have not gone through the other states at this point to see what he's been up to. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. Jesus Lord Murphy. Jesus Lord Murphy. Oh, my word. So let's see here. I find this one pretty interesting. Let's take a look here. Gigolo Beach Cheerio suspect has an arsenal of weapons, top cop says. Now, let me check here because I do believe that he had, is it 97? Lots of weapons. I've seen in some places 72, and I see some of them, yeah, a lot of guns. Okay, let's see what this is going to tell us here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
case when he took over and says he won't stop
let's
until
see
justice
here.
is served. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison.
Put it back here.
Beach murder case. Long Island investigators seizing more evidence, including nearly 100 guns after arresting the suspect accused of murdering 7 women whose bodies were found more than 10 years ago. Our next guest is credited for pushing to solve this case when he took over and says he won't stop until justice is served. Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison is here. Great to see you back in New York City where you used to work.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
So you live right by where this happened. I mean, where you call home. It's a mile from my house. You just told me one thing's incorrect. It's over 100 guns.
Yeah. It's over 200 guns. He had an arsenal in a vault that he had downstairs. So it's concerning regarding the guns being registered or illegal or not. That's something that we're still taking a look at. But anytime somebody has that type of arsenal, we have some concerns.
You've linked him for sure with 3 or 4 deaths.
We have him for 3, and we're definitely looking at a 4th one.
Now that you have his DNA, how long will it take before you find out if he's responsible for others?
Well, it's hard to tell. It depends.
Commissioner Rodney Harrison is here. Great to see you back in New York City where you used to work.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
So you live right by where this happened. I mean, where you call home. It's a mile from my house. You just told me one thing's incorrect. It's over 100 guns.
Yeah. It's over 200 guns. He had an arsenal.
Over 200 guns. He had an arsenal. So what the hell was this man up to in that dumpy little house?
In a vault that he had downstairs. So it's concerning regarding the guns being registered or illegal or not. That's something that we're still taking a look at. But anytime somebody
I wish they'd stop doing that. Look at how close these.
Arsenal,
we'll
we have some concerns.
We'll look at
You've
something
linked
else.
him for sure with 3 or 4 deaths.
We have him for 3, and we're definitely looking at a 4th one.
Now that you have his DNA, how long will it take before you find out if he's responsible for others?
Well, it's hard to tell. It depends on the type of evidence that we recovered from, be it other victims, and how much intact it is, so we can match his DNA to anything else that might have not just happened in Long Island, but maybe somewhere else as well.
The Avalanche is the car that you were looking for. You find it in Massapequa. Yeah. You realize that this is likely your guy. When did you realize this is more than just a possibility? It's him. And how long did you follow him before you grabbed him?
Yeah, so we found out the Avalanche was connected to him in around March. This may be our person. And speaking...
Get back here.
We started getting closer and closer, saying much in
Massapequa. Yeah. You realize that this is
down here.
likely your
Good
guy.
Lord.
When did you realize?
Because that was really difficult. So that basement or whatever it was, cellar, I'm really hoping that they, and I'm sure they did, would look for DNA down there.
Realize this is more than just a possibility. It's him. And how long did you follow him before you grabbed him?
Yeah, so we found out the Avalanche was connected to him in around March, maybe early April. And then we started diving a little bit more deeper into who this individual was. We found out he was an architect and some other things. And then we were able to do some phone records and some other background check with how he uses his credit cards and look at his family, and he has a wife and 2 kids and just his lifestyle. And
Can you imagine a wife and 2 kids that have been living in this house that I tend to believe is most likely place where he would unalive these girls, because he was doing it all allegedly when his family was gone. His wife is from Iceland, so a lot of these happened while she was there.
We started getting closer and closer, saying, hey, this may be our person. And speaking to Detective Lieutenant Kevin Byer, who oversaw the task force, who did a phenomenal job, and I want to thank my partners that helped us out. We were able to get him into custody before he hurt somebody else.
How hard was it to follow him, knowing this is the murderer?
Yeah. So,
and not grab him because you had to wait.
Yeah. So we had to be careful. The one thing we didn't want to do is have what's called get raised. If he knows that if
I'm not sure if he's going to get into this, but he was doing some pretty spooky damn things leading up to his arrest. He was doing some very bad things. So chances are that he was going to, in my guess, unalive somebody else. But I still think we need to find another dump spot because I think there is one. I don't see how he stopped. What do you guys think?
If he knew that people were following him, then anything could happen from there. He could try to flee the country and a host of other things.
Because you heard the report in the New York Post from a woman that said he was approached at Brady Park in Massapequa, and she was on a bike, and she said when the arrest was made, she goes, that was the guy. So he could have been ready to act again.
Listen, there's a lot more stories out there. I can guarantee that. That's why I'm asking people to call our Crime Stoppers hotline. Anybody has any information, more information about...
He's a distinctive-looking guy.
That's right. He's an ogre. Listen, 275 pounds,
ogre.
6'6". He's a big human being, but I'm very, very glad that we were able to get him off the streets.
The decision to reconstitute the Gilgo investigation, what went into that, and what made you think we could uncold?
So you guys absolutely watch Fox for this case because they do have some really, really good updates.
That we could unfreeze this case.
So when I became the Suffolk County Police Commissioner, one of the first things I did was sit down with my homicide lieutenant, and I asked him to brief me on the case. This is something that I learned from the NYPD, is challenging our investigators. And Kevin Byron knew this case cold. I mean, he was living this case daily. The one thing that I was uncomfortable with is he was still catching other cases. So that's when I said, hey, listen, give me your best guys. They're not going to catch any more cases. They're going to be assigned to a task force, and they're going to make sure going forward their main focus is looking at Gilgo and putting some fresh eyes on it.
And you did, and it paid off.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner, I look forward to talking to you again because I think we're good.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Let me tell you. Amazing. Do you guys think there's going to be anybody else? Nanu, nanu. Nanu, nanu. Nanu, nanu. Yeah, Robin Williams, rest in peace. They're saying he had over 200 guns, James. Over 200. No. Did you guys see the ginormous doll in the display case? They took it for evidence? Like the ginormous doll, human size? Oof, da. Sounds great, Shauna. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time, or later, skater. There is eyewitnesses. Absolutely, because they did a lot of this stuff right out in the public, right? They would meet in the public. They would leave together in public. I think so too. I don't think he can be the world's best. Yeah. Exactly. Many Cheerios have double lives. BTK, Bundy, etc. Absolutely. Green River. All of them. All of them. BTK. Did you say? Yeah, you got BTK. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so probably won't be the longest, absolute longest stream, but yeah, I just got a message. Some real life stuff is going on. Oh, are you serious? Size of a 4 or 5-year-old? Creepy AF. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Really? Yeah, that is the thing. If the crazies have weapons, I want weapons. And that's the thing. Like, yeah, well said, right? It is a little bit spooky. That is a little bit spooky. Like I said, Canada doesn't have them, can't carry. Oh my God, is that in its own cabinet? So this doll-sized mannequin, was this like in a display cabinet? Ew. Ew. Cringeworthy. Yeah. Can you imagine? That's all I'm going to say about that. Can you imagine? Damn. Come on, get away. I've got no idea why they have to do this and ruin everything. There we go. Ads, ads, ads. Okay. I think I can get rid of this one. So her face is out there lots. So I thought maybe we would take a look at this. Where are you? There we go. Gilgo Beach suspect Rex Heuermann's wife, Elisa Elrup, loved Comic Con conventions and hated large crowds. That poor freaking woman. 22 years with that. With that. So she is Icelandic, so that's why she goes there to visit. And that's why she was there when all of these things happened for such an extended period. So it's saying alleged Gilgo Beach unaliver's wife loved planning vacations and comic book conventions, according to the Twitter handle attributed to the name Elisa Europe. She hated cold weather and shopping in large crowds. I can relate. So let's see. She did not post tweets during the time the victims were reported missing and did not join the platform until November 29th. Her tweets expressed her deep interest in comic books, con conventions, and vacations. I should stop plugging this in. Spring is creeping in fast. Okay. Okay. So, this is one of her tweets down here. Met Christopher Golden at Boston Comic Con. Awesome. Now it looks like they're going to move to that convention, to the convention center next week. So, yeah, she was fairly, I guess that would make her fairly social with a group that she is comfortable with. She hated snow, cold weather, despite her Icelandic heritage. Didn't get too much snow this time, but I'm not in the mood to shovel now. But it's cold outside, the Twitter user wrote in February 2010. It snowed, got 13 inches. Don't like when others don't move vehicles when the plow comes in. I always get more snow to shovel. So, yeah, kind of about shopping and okay, she took to Twitter to share she was in a car accident at the start of 2010. Car accidents are no fun, nor is having the flu. Happy New Year's. Cheers to 2010. So that makes me think somewhere it's allegedly being said that Rex Heuermann was very much into charging people. He liked to make civil claims over accidents and the like. So they're saying even though it took 13 years to find this man, that his wife is in no way a suspect. So Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, Melissa Bartholomew, and Maureen Brainard Barnes. These three are the ones that he has been charged with. And this one here, there's a couple complications. Somebody else is dealing with this right now. Someone else has been charged. So we're not sure. So he did plead not guilty to the 3 counts of first degree charges in the murders of, YouTube, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello. He is also considered the prime suspect in the death of another so-called Gigolo 4, who was identified as Maureen Brainard Barnes. Yes, I do believe. Pretty sure he did, James, right? I've got a voodoo doll. I don't know if I've told you, the only thing I ever did was try to give someone diarrhea, and I don't even know if it worked. Those things freak me out. Too many movies about spirit possessions. They freak me out too. I would rather watch like any kind of horror show unless it has something to do with that. Like, no, thank you. And like I said, I really believe that he did, James. I have to double check, but I'm pretty damn sure you're right. I don't do dolls. Nope. I'll have to show you mine. It's a creepy doll. Really creepy. My son's like, why, Mom? Just why? We were in another town when I picked it up, and I put it in the back of our vehicle, so it was looking out the back window at anyone that was behind it. I might as well have a little bit of fun. So, yes. And what did my husband name it? Oh, yes, Annabelle. So, yeah, filled with the creepy shite. And then complain about hauntings. I sage. I sage lots. I'm moving to a house knowing somebody has been alive there. You are? Do tell. Do tell. Yes. Bless that thing. Run around with sage. Good energy and bad energy out. Open up your windows, your doors, get anything that happened in there, like, gone. A blessing party. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's very respectful. Oh, you're just using an example. Thank God. Yeah, you don't move into a home like that. You burn it to the ground. Oh, my. Yes. Sending you some white sage and Palo Santo, Shauna. Smudge that ish. Oh, okay. We thought it was you. predators in the woods locally? Yucky. But I'm glad that I have a Biden voodoo doll. Every time I knock it over, old sleepy, creepy Biden falls over. I could not believe it. I don't know how I ended up watching this video, but I was watching this man try to walk up into that like presidential plane or whatever it is, and he's falling like all the way up the stairs. And then they showed something else, and he's like talking on a podium, and then he's freaking wiping out over there. It's like, oh my God, man. Oh my word. Oh, what's this guy going over here? Giggle Beach, unalive, accused killer. See, oops. Rex Heuermann taunted victim's family after her death, court documents say. So yeah, this kind of pisses you off a little bit. I don't know, is this going to be it?
There'll be closure for other families as well.
Was bringing the FBI in a game changer, John?
I think the resources of the FBI, no matter how good local law enforcement is, they're international. They have agents and technology that most others do not have. It's something that probably played a very pivotal role in this case, but that's not to undermine at all the great work that the cops did, and they kept this case up for over 10 years, now finally helping the families of the victims.
And they seem to have a fresh set of eyes looking at it, which seemed to have helped as well. I guess in the last 20, 30 seconds we've got left, where do you see this going?
We have 8 other unsolved murders out there from this case alone. Clearly, this subject, if it's him, in fact, has been a...
So do you guys think it was him? Or do you think these are two separate?
work for some time. They're going to look and see, are there any other similar cases that need to be looked at, possible DNA evidence that will tie the subject to those murders, and hopefully close those cases as well.
Yes.
John Yanner.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, we don't need Biden, whatever. Well, this says ciao. Oh, okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. I find this one interesting too. Interior designer reveals Gilgo Beach Cheerio suspect Rex Heuermann's creepy voicemail to her. Are you kidding me already? And claims he once asked her about the deaths and left her feeling very uncomfortable. Where are you guys? I'll show it on here. This is haven't been on this platform for a bit again, so I'm making some boo-boos. Sorry, guys. Okay, interior designer reveals Gigolo Beach Cheerio suspect Rex Heuermann's creepy voicemail to her and claims he once asked her about the unalivings and left her feeling quite uncomfortable. Dominique Vidal said she was in a networking organization with Rex Heuermann, who once asked her if she knew about the Gigolo Beach deaths, remembering feeling uncomfortable with the suspected Cheerio. He is 59 years old, an architect, and is charged with Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello.
Hey guys, I'm going to upload the voicemail from Rex Heuermann. He left this for me end of February after I left the group. Previous to that, he did call me a couple of times. I answered the phone, nothing really significant. I found it odd. He was calling me because he had no work for me. I had no work for him. There was no ongoing relationship. We were just two people who used to be in the same networking group. So, take a listen.
Hey, this is Rex from the BNI group. I actually heard you are no longer part of the group. I still wanted to talk to you. I had a question for you. And also wanted to touch base. So if you get an opportunity, you can always try.
He's creepy AF, guys. Creepy AF.
Me at the office. Or feel free to use my cell. Mine. Hope you're doing good. Hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.
Creepy, 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 man. Creepy. So this is the girl here. I got that message. She's a designer who is networking. What a strange thing to ask someone. Do you know about the Gigolo Beach unalivings? Looks like stuffed animals are added to a vehicle where authorities have been placing evidence. Police, FBI, and crime lab officials were seen going in and out of Rex Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park, New York, in the afternoon of Sunday, July 6, 2023, yesterday. Yeah. Yep. And you know what? We knew this was going to happen, but there is also channels out that are saying that he is innocent. Everything was planted. Don't know how that could possibly happen, but that's what this group is working on. I think he was always prowling. I think she succumbed to the elements. I just don't know. Weird how that played out. It is. It really, really is. And you know, that, what's his name? Haskett. Let me take a look here. Peter Hackett. So he's from Oak Beach. And I tell you what, he's sus AF as well. So I guess this is just one of them that we're going to have to kind of watch and see what's coming out. Almost on a daily basis, I'll be on this. I've got like a file started for every frickin' name that's involved with this case, and I'll be deep diving them all. There he is with his wife. Gives out her email. This is my shit. Let's get out of here. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? Sadly, she does have marks on her neck. But I don't know if the hyoid, is that how you say it right? The hyoid bone was broke in this case. Yeah. Somehow got away from him. Like those calls, I was listening to them last night, and she didn't sound straight. Whoever did this, I honestly believe she was given something. It's just kind of what I believe. The way she was acting was very unusual. She slurred and just did some, I think someone did something to her in that aspect as well, in my personal opinion. And she is quite a bit different. But then there's a lot of similarities too. Okay. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty easy to get lost in that mess, right? Somebody unalived her. I'm just not sure if it was this guy, unless it was an opportunity thing. So do you think that what was his name? That Hackett? Do you think Peter Hackett might have had something to do with this? Like, look at that face. They said he's very strong. The people who knew him have given varying descriptions, with some seeing him as a successful loner, but cumbersome Manhattan architect, while others saw him as a creepy loner. I think he's creepy. Vidal said she felt leaving uncomfortable in his presence even before she knew of his crimes. When he started leaving her voicemails at the end of February, she said, I assumed he just wanted to do some work together. Oh, thank you very much. So at one point she recounted that he brought up the Gigolo Beach incidents. Back then I would say, oh, he's just from that area. Maybe, he's just a local talking about it, and would think I'd find it interesting. But now I see it as a cheerio trying to put it out in somebody's face. Like, why was he calling her? So full of himself. Prosecutors alleged he used burner phones and multiple email accounts to search for sites depicting this type of thing. To reach the workers and keep up with the investigation of the deaths. He allegedly used fake names for email accounts and phones to conduct thousands of searches related to the workers and a lot of other kind of evil things. Authorities say Barthelomew's burner phone was also used to make taunting phone calls to her family members in the days after her disappearance, in which the male voice admitting that he did these absolutely horrid things. Oh my.
If you are type 2 and take metformin, well, check your feet and legs for these two things that
What a house. They're backed right up. This is from the Daily Mail, which is also in the description. Look at them all, eh? The whole road is barricaded. Oh, yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so I think I've got one more. And then I've got something we can go through that's fairly long. So I'm going to think about whether or not that's something we should go over. Okay, let me come back up here. I see you. Oh, thank you. Bring that to Mom. Thank you. Always something. This time is, oh, thank you. Give me that. You'll give that to Mom. Give it. It once was a Chinese menu. Thanks for bringing that to me. This is just Lizzie's thing. I haven't quite figured out why she enjoys it so much other than the cookies, and she just caught on super easy. Okay, you get one, and you get one for watching. All right, guys. Yep. Okay, see how the two men in the house and the one outside prowling the area, checking up on the others. 95% sure it's him, but at this point, I just want her to have justice. Okay, are we talking about a different case in here? I don't know. I'm confused now. Is that who Peter Haskett is? Yes. He's the doctor that talked to the family. Yeah. Let's see if I've got down Haskett's. He lived in Oak Beach. Both living in the Manorville area where the previous remains or parts of the remains have been discovered. For Dr. Hackett, the connection came from phone call records showing he had made contact with Shannon Gilbert's mother days after her disappearance. In the call, details of which he strangely recounted 3 days later, he told Mary Gilbert that he was looking after her daughter and had prescribed her medication to calm her down as she was severely distressed. So, yeah, Peter Hackett is absolutely put himself into this, hasn't he? Yes. Shannon Gilbert is the one that had the driver. You can hear him in the 911 calls saying, come on, like, stop freaking out. And like, he was part of the case when it first started. Yes. He tried to really stay ahead of the investigation. I have no doubt he continued, and his dumping ground has changed. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. He didn't just stop, did he? Yep. Yeah, he's a little creepy. Yeah, he was super creepy. Big alarm bells. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, helping teenagers that are in trouble? Yes. But with that said, I want people to know if that child is anywhere near me, I'm not going to get myself in trouble. Like, what is that? Helping wayward girls? Like, it's like verges on the sick. It's unreal. Giggle Beach. Everything we know about the case against Rex Heuermann. Fox is in the description. So this is him leaving court. And we do know that he was a ball baby when he was in court. I didn't do it, man. I say no.
Johnny, good morning to you. A 32-page bail application alleges that Rex Heuermann searched for child and torture pornography and also threatened and taunted victims' families.
Go back a little bit, friends.
Johnny, good morning to you. A 32-page...
On the setting sheet is live outside of his home, where this is clearly still an active investigation. Briella.
Tashani, good morning to you. A 32-page bail application alleges that Rex Heuermann searched for child and torture pornography and also threatened and taunted victims' families over the phone. That alone was enough for a judge to remand him until his next court appearance. In the meantime, though, investigators have their hands quite full as they continue to comb through piles of evidence here at Heuermann's Massapequa Park home.
I'm standing here with my law enforcement partners in the Gilgo Task Force to
comb through piles of evidence here at Heuermann's Massapequa Park home.
I'm standing here with my law enforcement partners in the Gilgo Task Force to announce the indictment of defendant Rex Andrew Heuermann, 59 years of age.
News of Rex Heuermann's arrest and indictment in connection to at least 3 of the long-unsolved Gilgo Beach murders shattered headlines over the weekend. But it's only the tip of the iceberg in an investigation that will likely continue to unravel over the coming days and months.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families.
Heuermann, an architect, husband, and father who has spent his whole life in Massapequa Park, hid in plain sight for more than a decade after investigators say he killed Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, all sex workers with whom he communicated via burner phones. He's also considered the prime suspect in the death of a 4th woman, Maureen Brainard Barnes, whose body was found bound and hidden along Ocean Parkway not far from the other victims. The long-awaited arrest came after detectives pursued a new lead, matching DNA from a pizza that Heuermann ate to a single hair on the burlap sack where Waterman's remains were found. He was arrested on Thursday night at his office in Midtown Manhattan and subsequently charged with 3 counts of first and second-degree murder.
He lives such a pro-social lifestyle, his job, his family. That's why people around him said, geez, he looked like such an ordinary guy. All of that contributed, I think, to his confidence in staying in the same place and not moving throughout New York or even throughout the country.
Last year, Suffolk Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison announced the creation of an interagency task force solved at cracking the cold case. In March of 2022, Heuermann was first identified as a suspect. Detectives linked him to a pickup truck that a witness reported seeing when one of the victims disappeared in 2010.
If not for the members of this task force, he would still be out in the streets today.
Investigators spent the past few days collecting evidence from Heuermann's unkempt First Avenue home as neighbors watched in awe from the sidewalk. The search for evidence continued on Sunday at an Amityville storage facility after Suffolk County Police executed a search warrant there.
They are looking for any and all forensic/DNA evidence that they could find at his home, at his office, because he has his own place of business, whether it's hair, whether it's anything else.
Yeah, and over the past several days, investigators have seized firearms from this red home where Heuermann lived. And according to the New York Post, even a child-sized doll with blonde braided hair carefully preserved in a glass and wooden case. As you can imagine, very unsettling for all of the people who live in this neighborhood who are raising their children here. For now, we're live in Massapequa Park. Tashani, back to you.
All right, Briella, thank you. We're also following that heavy rain that took place over the weekend. It left behind quite a mess in parts of the tri-state before.
You know what? And here's the thing. This is the heartbreaking. Here are the latest developments. Rex Heuermann of Massapequa Park, Long Island, is the man police say is behind 3 of the grisly Gilgo Beach murders, and they say DNA evidence played a key role in catching the 59-year-old architect.
We have all the angles of the arrest covered, but let's start with Sharon Crowley live in that Massapequa Park neighborhood that the suspect calls home. Sharon.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. This is still an active crime scene. As you may be able to see behind me, there are state police and law enforcement from Nassau and Suffolk County who have been here all day. They've been removing evidence from the house that he lived in. We've seen them bring out boxes of things, furniture, what appeared to be a cooler, as they try to unravel the mystery of what is no longer a cold case.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us. A predator that ruined families. If not for the members of this task force, he would still be out in the streets today.
Investigators announcing a dramatic development in a cold case that has haunted Long Island for more than a decade. Police say 59-year-old Rex Heuermann, a married father of two from Massapequa Park, is a serial killer. He's charged with the unsolved murders of sex workers whose remains were found near Gilgo Beach more than a decade ago. Heuermann, who is an architect, was taken into custody at his Midtown Manhattan office. He was arraigned for killing Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. He's also the prime suspect in a fourth woman's murder. The women's remains were found close together, bound and wrapped in camouflage-colored burlap along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. His defense lawyer entered a not guilty plea at the courthouse in Riverhead.
The only thing I can tell you that he did say as he was in tears was, "I didn't do this."
The cold case reopened last year when the new district attorney and police chief created a special task force involving the FBI to take another look at the evidence. Within 2 months, the task force identified Heuermann as a suspect. Detectives linked him to a pickup truck he owned at the time that witnesses reported seeing when one of the victims disappeared. Another huge break came when police matched DNA from pizza Heuermann ate and discarded in a trash can to genetic material found on the woman's remains.
One of the things that we did is we followed him because we wanted to get an abandonment sample of his DNA, which we were able to do.
Investigators say Heuermann bought burner phones to call his victims and arrange meetings. This is a picture from court documents showing him at a mobile phone store in Midtown Manhattan. In the 13 years since these unsolved cases, science has advanced, helping investigators finally make the break they needed for so long.
Still a big mystery tonight as to what happened.
Well, Heuermann is still in custody. He's expected to have another court appearance next month. As for here live at Massapequa Park, you can see, as we said, law enforcement still considering this a crime scene, and it's likely they will be here for several more days. And this is not the only property that they're searching. They're also searching his office in Midtown Manhattan, trying to get as much evidence as they can. Natasha, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Sharon, thank you.
Beach murder case dates back to 2007 when the first victim went missing. The first bodies were found in 2010, but it's not until now that any arrests have been made.
Fox 5's Teresa Priolo is in the newsroom with a look back at this timeline of the case and the changes within the Suffolk County Police Department that might have helped lead to this arrest. Teresa.
Yes, certainly, Natasha and Steve. This is an investigation with so many twists and turns, so many stops and starts. And as you mentioned, while most people who have been following this case might think that December 2010 is the beginning of it, what you are about to see is a timeline of events that begins in 2007 with the disappearance of Maureen Brainerd Barnes.
We were here looking for Shannon Gilbert.